daily lives, we must take into account the ethical implications of its development and use. AI systems can inherit biases on the data they are trained on, leading to unfair or discriminatory outcomes. It can collect and analyze personal data, raising concerns about privacy and security. Let this Congress be a platform for open dialogue, collaboration, and innovation. Together, we can harness the power of AI to create a future that is not only technologically advanced, but also sustainable and beneficial for all. Our discussions today will cover the critical role of AI in enhancing e-governance and shaping digital societies, focusing on how technology can improve public spaces and citizen engagement. We'll also address the implications of AI in cybersecurity as we confront global challenges and threats. We will discuss the development of financial technologies and how AI is reshaping investment strategies, while also presenting new opportunities and risks. Additionally, we will touch on ethical considerations surrounding AI, reflecting on the balance between technological advancement and societal values. I am confident that the discussions and collaborations that take place here will have a lasting impact on the development and deployment of AI. Once again, welcome to Armenia, and thank you for joining us today. I wish you all a productive and inspiring Congress. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our esteemed panel of experts who will discuss revolutionizing business in the digital age. Joining us first, Mr. Ashat Hovanesian, CEO of Synergy International Systems, Mr. Haik Karamyan, Chief Internal Audit at Vimpelcom, Mr. Ara Archunyani, Area Vice President of Sales at Oracle, Mr. Rafael Abramian, co-founder and CEO at RAMT. Our moderator for this discussion will be Ms. Jasmine Woolley, a cybersecurity officer and specialist. Welcome to the stage.
You go first, right?
Do we all go, or we wait? All go, or we wait for?
No, we can go one by one.
Okay, awesome.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to one of the first panels hosted by the World Congress of Innovation and Technology. My name is Jasmine, and I'm honoured to be the moderator for today's panel on AI-driven transformation, revolutionising business in the digital age, and a warm welcome to all of our panellists here today. Today we're going to explore how AI improves operational efficiency in business, the ethical considerations when we use AI, and how AI is pushing the boundaries of business operations and how it will continue to do so. I'm excited to hear from all of our panellists today and hear their insights. Now, let's dive into our discussion. So, I'd like to start by posing a question to the panel in regard to the ethical considerations of AI. With the adoption of AI in business operations, there have been a number of ethical concerns raised over job displacement and AI-generated content. This has highlighted the need for transparency and to upskill employees. What views do the panel hold on ethical challenges with AI, And what are some of the key challenges that businesses will face? How should companies address these challenges to ensure responsible and ethical use of AI? I'd like to open it up to the panel.
Okay.
Who you want to start? I can start. Thank you. So rather than just speaking in general about AI's ethical impact, I would prefer to give you some examples of what my company Synergy is doing related to those aspects. So since we work in some of the areas, and I will bring our examples of our work in justice sector. And one aspect is the bias. As we all know, AI models are based on massive data, historic data, which is the basis for AI models to train and come up with their recommendation solutions. But not necessarily historic data are objective. They may have some issues of discrimination, of neglecting like minors, racial issues, vulnerability group issues. So then AI will just multiply impact of this injustice if this bias to even higher level. So it's very dangerous if you don't check the quality of data and just rely on AI to come up with some of the recommendations based on historic data, because you don't know how historic data has been collected and produced. There are methods also to check if the data is biased or not. So I think that very careful approach has to be taken to avoid any type of biases. When we talk about transparency, it's very important to understand that most of the AI models are like a black box, where you don't know what algorithms, how AI came up with this decision, especially if you are talking about sentencing or bails or paroles, these very crucial, important decisions that justice sector has to take. And then you don't know what was the basis for this recommendation. So I think one has to be careful not to give to AI the final word in making this type of judgments and decisions, but maximum to give an opportunity for AI to give guidance and recommendations, no more than that, and take to the human to take a final decision. Related to this, then the question of accountability is coming to the scene. Who is accountable for decisions? Is it machine or it's a human? So I think, especially in justice, it's very sensitive. Even if human takes a decision, if recommendation was biased, then that may create problems for humans to come up with decision. So I think we are dealing with these sensitive issues in our work on a daily basis.
Absolutely.
So continuing the idea that we should be careful and mindful when using AI, and especially when making decision and judgments, why we should be ethical, I should provide the example of proper governance. So the company recognizes the consequences and having a good governance and controls in place to mitigate those. But there is also companies and organizations which are using AI intentionally for misinformation, for misuse, for fake news. Those has a tremendous consequences for the public. And therefore, it is important that organizations has, from one point of view, responsible management and accountable management. When I speak about responsible, I mean human-centric, fair, no discrimination, and harmless for people. And therefore, the best practices, Microsoft, other companies, I should also provide it this example, has a ethical AI framework in place with the principles of security, transparency, and at the same time, there should be a control over data input, algorithms, and the business use. And from the broader perspective, ethics is beneficial for the business because you create trust. You create trust, it means you have increased your market position and become more competitive. From this perspective, if we trust ChatGPT, because we trust on the algorithms, because we trust the company, because there are lots of other bots, chats we can use, but since we trust management, governance of this company, therefore we trust the products.
Yeah, thanks. Sorry, a bit too loud. So first, to enlighten a bit the discussion, I would say that AI is not replacing all of the jobs. I think AI is only replacing the boring jobs, so it's okay, we're all good. I mean, no one wants to do what AI is doing right now for the humanity. Obviously, AI is evolving, and maybe in 2 years' time we'll be talking some different stuff. And yeah, please make my mic a bit less loud, because otherwise I think the crowd will go crazy. So as for the points that the colleagues have mentioned, I'm all for the ethics in the AI, and of course, like the question of bias, I think is the strongest one, especially in countries like in the States, I think, because there's a lot of bias there implemented into the data sets that AI is using. I would like to speak about a bit different point of ethics in AI. I think the plagiarism is a big thing. So we all heard that Scarlett Johansson was in a kind of a quarrel with Microsoft, with ChatGPT, because she considered, or maybe rightfully so, decided that the voice that the chatbot is using is her voice, because as we all know, her voice is one of the most beautiful voices in the world. So she decided that this basically is based on her voice. And I think that's the big question for AI in the future, especially the generative AI, the one that is really popular right now. What data sets and what works is it based on? Because someone paid his dues, worked for hours and hours to get some image done, or to get a voice out, or to get a music track, and then AI is just using that kind of for free, because it's in the public domain, obviously. The AI is using it for free, and then using it to create something which is kind of generated and is genuine, because obviously nothing like this has been generated before. It's not like plagiarism in the full sense, but then of course it relies on the on hard work of others. So I think one of the big questions also that's arising, and a lot of companies, especially I have one of the fintech companies that is specializing concretely on that, is trying to find this narrow path of actually making AI work, but at the same time licensing the rights of the works that AI is using, because that's a big question. You can never actually, unless you do like a full forensic report, you can never actually say that it's been 100% based on these or that works. But then the ethics, this is where the ethics come, right? So companies should understand that basically using in their data sets the media rights that are actually copyrighted, but they just do not use it by the license agreement, is actually the same fraud as I don't know, buying and selling stolen artwork. So this is actually the same, and I think the more we live with generative AI in our everyday lives, the more everyone will understand that this is something that is of crucial concern for cybersecurity companies as well. So they work hardly on that.
Well, we continue to adopt the ethical and transparent approach to AI development and deployment. One thing I want to focus on, that what means with AI is we often have a large amount of data that is analyzed. Most important factor is being able to keep this data secure and follow data privacy regulations. At any given time, you have facial recognition, you're at the airport, they take their photo, fingerprints, all that data is being stored. And often, I don't know if you have seen letters come to your house in recent months, everyone informs us about a potential breach that has taken place, unwanted access to the data. So most important aspect of it is, from my point of view, is be able to secure data and make sure that we have data privacy.
So thank you to the panelists for the insight on that question. By being better equipped to address those ethical considerations, organisations can obviously improve the operational efficiency of their business processes. As panelists with vast experience in both private and public sector, what are some specific tasks that you believe AI can automate to free up human resources for other important tasks? And what impact does this have on business efficiency? Feel free to use examples as well.
Yeah, let's go the same
order,
route.
or
Of course. Yeah, I think.
Okay. So I will talk about the same sector of justice that, because I think this is closer to what we do in AI in my company. Normally in justice sector, you are dealing with massive data. Each individual one case may have tons of evidences, digital emails, digital recording, other type of information, testimonials, many things. And it happened that I visited some courts of the past, on paper-based courts. If you see them archiving their cases, you will see room full of paper from the ground to the ceiling. And I always wondering, if you need to find something, what you do, how you get into the... So there was no any decision could be made objectively on the basis of real data. So that is, we are talking about quality. So you cannot get quality in this. Then there was a process of automating. Automating, meaning that putting these like sort of case management systems that would organize this data. That's the second stage. You organize data. But now when AI comes to the scene, then it's the third stage. How you use this organized data, mostly unstructured data, because there are like evidences, texts. So these NLP-based systems that are able today to go through massive data and understand what the meaning of the text, taking the documents and making summaries of the documents to really, for people who cannot read hundreds of pages of evidences and other things, that they can focus on summaries. So these are, I think, crucial new level of effectiveness that helps lawyers, judges to do their daily work in much better way. And normally, you know that it takes a lot of time for both lawyers and judges to do their work because they have to really go through massive data. So I think analyzing large set of data documents is where AI can do a lot.
Thank you. I think that we have two stages. When we can, through AI, automate our routine manual jobs, like provided in the previous example, when you start, it's very basic. So we start with digitalizing information, putting in order, keeping them, storing them, and then making our manual work more, or robotic works more automated. And there is a second stage when we automate our decision making. For example, like lots of banks are now using automation of decision how to provide credits. So we call it 210. When we provide, you spend as a customer 2 minutes to fill in your blank and 1 minute to make a decision because there is a lots of data and zero interaction with people. There is also, it comes with some cost. It's a privacy cost sometimes, it's accuracy, etc. And those are, you can use in business. It's not easy, it's not, you can do it within 1 day or 2 days. When you start this process, you find out that there is a lots of unstructured data, first of all. You find out that there is no data. There is a data which are stored in a different non-interacted IT systems. So starting with this exercise, you find out that how many inefficient or duplicated processes you have in your company. You started to change these processes and it helps you to optimize all your other processes and you see lots of savings, etc. For everyday jobs, okay, for everyone who is in this audience, I think that coding. So we use codes to have lots of analysis. What we find out very recently, it's very easy and it's very comfortable to give this job to ChatGPT for simple cases, and it will save lots of time. 1 week, 2 weeks time for you to provide within 2 minutes code you are looking for. You just need to understand the prompt engineering. It also helps to do your code within 2 minutes or 2 hours, and then use your free time for real analytics, because we spend lots of time, even the people with the high analytical skills spend their time for orders to bring information together and spend less time for real analytical exercises.
Yeah, so I agree. So one of the biggest questions actually that the corporations have when they're trying to implement AI or machine learning algorithms is actually they don't have the data lake, they don't have all the data stored in the proper manner so that they can actually get use of it. That's the first, I would say, big issue. So I'll start with issues and then I will go to a more positive side. And the second issue is actually a lot of companies in their processes, they're just not efficient in the process. And when you start to apply AI or machine learning algorithms to a process that is not efficient, you just amplify the inefficiency. So it's not like that AI is some kind of a silver bullet that will change all our lives and make all the corporations better because it can, it knows better. It doesn't know better. It knows only what you know, and if you're doing something wrong, it will just continue doing it wrong. The same thing that Ashot told with the biases, right?
Yes.
All of the generations of people have been doing some things wrong, judging people by their cover or stuff like that, and then AI is just completely doing the same. The same with the corporations. If you're not doing some of the processes right, for example, one of the projects we have is in procurement. So procurement is a very difficult, complex task, and if you're doing the procurement not in the right way, you don't interact with your suppliers, you don't put up the protocols in places, then AI will only ruin you even more because it will amplify your bad operation. So the first thing is getting your data lake straight, and then second is making sure that the processes that you want to automate and that you want to use AI for are actually crisp and very sound, and then you can start automating them. Obviously, generative AI helps a lot with coding. It helps a lot with getting the information from the documents and making the summary of it. But also, it's very good in operations like call centers. Obviously, for retail companies, for all the B2C companies, a lot of call centers are now getting like the first line, the first round of questions, which are the easier part of them. They use generative AI to get those questions, and only then it goes to a human operator if AI cannot solve the question. And I think the more we go, the more questions will be solved by AI. So this is an obvious plus. Second is the optimization in marketing. Yeah, the one side of this coin is fake news that you were referring to, but then the other side is that actually marketing starts to work. It starts to actually understand what users need and want. That's why making fake news is easier, but then also getting the good products to people that they actually care for is also easier. So using AI and machine learning in marketing for all of the companies in the world, actually, even B2B companies, is very important. So mostly agencies are doing that, but there are a lot of companies that are starting to insource this competency in them as well, because they understand that that's basically becoming the advantage that will make or break a company in the following 10 years. If you can establish a good relationship with your consumer, both the consumers that you already have, for them to make repeat purchases, and then getting new consumers. And obviously you can use AI for that. So yeah, opportunities are endless, but then the very important thing to keep in mind is that it's only about you. What you feed in the model, you will get this result. So we're not in the space yet when AI will help us actually even improve the processes, improve the inputs. We will be there maybe in 2 or 3 years. It's always said that we underestimate the speed of evolution of technology that is very close to us, and then we overestimate the thing that is very far from us. But I think that for now, the companies need to set their things straight and only then refer to AI and ML.
Right.
Well, we can agree that AI automates a lot of things, a lot of time-consuming tasks, which allows folks to be able to concentrate on more strategic areas. A few examples I'll share with you with my daily tasks at work. When we host customers, we host events, we do expense reports. Our system now is AI embedded, where automatically the expense states, is this lodging, is this car, is this tolls? I don't have to personally input that data into the system anymore. I just need to probably put an image of the receipt, which I take it digitally with my phone, it's uploaded, and then expenses are paid in a timely manner, right? Why is that important? In the past, you had to remember what it was, where it was, and when it was. It was time consuming, and if you did not do it on time, it meant penalties and delays. That's one aspect. Second aspect, in terms of hiring. With some criteria, again, it has to be a hybrid model. It can't just be one way and relying on AI. When you receive 400 resumes for a job opening, you don't have the bandwidth to go through so much data. I mean, one of the things about AI is it goes through a lot of data, is able to come back and make some recommendations. Now, with a hybrid model, you look for certain things, and you just don't take all the recommendations that came with AI, and you go from there. Another area is when we look at sales, we look at customer patterns, the customer's buying patterns, what they have deployed, when they have deployed, what is the warranty information, what is the support data. Most of the time, that data was in silos. The integration and AI has helped us have more intelligence at the tip of our fingers, where we are able to make recommendations to customers for them to modernize their environment and for them to be more successful.
Do the panelists have anything else they'd like to contribute to that question? Opening it up again.
Look, examples provided by my colleagues shows that even based on like procurement, when in audit, where we try to provide a machine learning to identify fraud cases or to identify anomalies to further investigate. We have seen that the data is in different platforms, and even management who manages this process every day doesn't know the interconnection between them. So when you start this process triggers other processes as well in entire company. And the company starting to think with this direction, helping not only to you to introduce you new AI tool, like a machine learning tool, but also simplify the procedures and processes. This is very important, that it needs collaboration within the company. All the functions starting to collaborate. And the collaboration means that improvement, collaboration means better customer service.
Yeah, I think it's a great point, and we can just summarize that AI is helping companies not with what AI is doing, but just that so they have to be more disciplined to get the AI going, and this helps a lot. So the preparation is even better than what AI is giving to them.
and I recommend everyone in the audience and everyone to read the books. Brad Smith, how Microsoft built his AI. They changed all the architecture of the company. They changed all the logic of the company. And they call the company AI Factory. So they think like all functions are focused on AI, therefore they streamline the processes, they improve the procedures, they improve how the data collects, storage, and use.
I can bring one example from my life. I did my PhD thesis many years ago in artificial intelligence when it was not as popular as now. I cannot reveal the year because it will reveal my age. But it was many years ago. And doing intelligent database systems, knowledge representation, that the system would better understand the data in database by creating so-called knowledge base. Then, throughout the entire my career of running companies, Synergy, our R&D was focusing on that, how to improve that idea of knowledge representation. But recently, since AI took such a speed, especially with generative AI, we realized that we have to make a leapfrog to get to the next level. We cannot go the same speed, the same direction. And even my chief technology officer decided to give up with his position to become a chief AI officer. That makes absolutely new commitment that we have to really go not with that speed of train, but maybe speed of plane or even speed of light. But that's what reality today. You have to make full commitment to make your company becoming, as you brought that example of Microsoft. I think now many companies are in the same situation now.
It ties really well into our next question. I'd be interested to know how have other companies pushed the boundaries with AI to enhance their business operations. Opening it to the panel again. I'd love to hear how other companies are really contributing to pushing the boundaries with AI.
It's again me?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Yes, again, getting into the judiciary and justice area sector that we are working heavily is the following. One task that it's on our desk of everybody in my company is if we have historic data of a court with cases, that's you are sitting on gold mine, but now you have to understand how you can extract that gold. And there are countries on a common law, or it's called case law, where entire judiciary is based on precedents in the past, like UK, like United States and others. So in order to make a judgment, you need to get similar cases of the past that were good precedents for taking a new judgment and new sentencing, new bails or whatever. And looking that where AI is going to play a major role, to find similarities. It's easier to say, but it's more difficult to do because we don't understand what is the similar. How you can take, even two people, when you look into the faces, you understand they are similar, right? But if someone asks, can you describe how they are similar, maybe you would not be able to do that. And only about extracting, exploring all this data, you can get into that position to better understand if two cases are closer to each other than these cases with others. So creating clusters of similar cases is very important to help judges to really come up with their decisions. Even the lawyers that are preparing for any litigation or anything, they need to know if there was a case in the past similar and what was the outcome. So instead of going into litigation, they may go to settle the case out of court and save time, money, etc. So I think that opens completely new era for more quality in the entire this process, where you can really bring this type of results much easier, faster. With today's other technologies, I think this task cannot be solved. So that's where AI, the only AI models are there to really make the next level of data analysis.
For when we speak about AI, and AI should create a value for the company in terms of customers, in terms of revenue. But at the same time, it starts with the value for your customer. In order to gain your customer, you need to provide the value and it's some new thing or make their life easier or faster, cheaper. And in telecommunication company, they sell tariff plans. So we all know that we pay monthly bill to support our phones. And there are lots of other options in the market, and people who are disappointed with the one operator choose another one. So each operator think about how to keep their customers, retain the customers, and retention is more easier and cheaper than acquire new customers. So and each telco company has a CVM process which called customer value management. When they see that customer is prone to churn, to leave the company, they're trying to incentivize or solve the problem. And so far, we have been doing this one by like expert opinions, that these kind of customers are prone to leave, let's incentivize them, while there was no any intention to leave, while you miss the other groups who really wants to leave your company. So now we have created machine learning algorithm, which based on the previous experience with customers, with their behavior, how to spend, their interaction with call center, with incident management, the area they live, the phone they use. So lots of data and lots of data to identify their behavior, because they don't give up your company overnight. They started with complaint, they pay less than in previous months, so there is a lots of information you analyze. So it allows you to identify the real group of people who disappointed with your services and support them with increasing your, the service or incentivizing them by bonuses, etc. But on the top of that, what we have seen, that if you have clean data, because there are lots of history of clean data, you don't know if a SIM card belongs to young people or older people. So you start this process of cleaning data, understanding the real customers, and it gives you on the top the ability to upsell because you know your client. So starting from one exercise, you are killing two your enemies. So you're killing the customers you're prone to churn, and you are upselling. This is the example how we use, how can help in streamlining in different processes and increasing customer value because customers are satisfied now, and increasing your customer base, your revenue.
Yeah, I'll pick up on the CVM point because it's very important, but I'll shift from telecom, in which you're operating, to clusters where we invest. We mostly invest in fintech and e-commerce, and there CVMs also. Let's start from fintech. Fintech obviously is a place where all the marketing that I've been describing before, like this, trying to understand what user wants is extremely important. So when you know what is your customer doing, how is it spending, what's his preferences. You can do what in fintech we call next best offer, basically the next best thing that the customer would want to do. Maybe he would want a credit, maybe the other way around, he has some extra money, he wants to save something on the deposit. There are a lot of cashbacks, there are a lot of loyalty programs and stuff like this, and knowing your customer and trying to just propose to him what's actually necessary, or at least proprietary to him and is proper. It's extremely important in terms of CVM. This is obviously how ML has been pushing boundaries for a lot of time. Not since the generative AI started to be booming, but it's been like for the last 10 years. Machine learning algorithms have helped companies to do exactly that. Another case is also at some point mentioned by Heike is the scoring. Right, so all the fintech companies are currently doing completely online paperless scoring in most of the progressive countries in the world, not in the United States, sorry, but in like Southeast Asia, in most of the CIS countries, in some of the countries in Europe, scoring is currently taking like 2 or 3 minutes. And you get the decision right away. And obviously, it's implemented in all the embedded financing options where you can, you're searching for a product in the e-commerce website in an online store, and then you want to get credit, and boom, you get it right away as you go to checkout. This is basically what Klarna did in Europe, and everyone's replicating this model, this fintech model. Obviously, this is all helping businesses go forward, and this has been around for, like, as I said, for 10 years. Not that the generative AI of the last 2 years has changed a lot of that. As for the generative AI, obviously it helped some of the companies. Let's go to my e-commerce part. It helped some of the companies get their operations a bit smoother in the areas where there is a lot of manual labor, obviously, like as Ashot has been mentioning, the legal part, where you have a lot of documents to pull through. In the e-commerce side, there's the so-called product details page. The place, if you go to Amazon, you choose the bottle of Evian, and this is actually the product details page where you get all the characteristics of the product, and you get the merchants who are selling this product. Doing those product details page, especially when you have a catalog of 2 million items, is a tedious work. And AI can do it for you, and it's actually already doing it. Like the first company who has done this is Spotify, a well-known American company who has been doing a lot for merchants. Basically, this is a place where any merchant can launch its own website. And what they've done is once you just input just one line of text about what product are you selling, it gathers all the information from the internet about this product and is creating a tiny, great-looking product details page. This is something that the merchant would have spent 1 or 2 days of quality labor to create himself, and would probably do it not the same way, not with the same quality as AI is doing, because it's just, here's, unlike the other examples that I've been doing, this is the example when you don't really need a lot of in-sourced data to create this. You're mostly using data from the internet. Obviously, if it's a cataloged product, if it's a product that at least 1 or 2 merchants around the world are selling, there's information about this product. And the only thing you need to do is, very accurately compile this information into one little page. So this is what AI is doing, and this is also how it's accelerating all the interaction between merchants and marketplaces, between merchants and customers, and stuff like this. And actually, there are a lot of obvious examples like that. Not to dive deep into them, I would say that first, why AI is important and why AI is a thing that every company needs to think about is that basically your competitors will use AI, and this will make you look slower, more expensive than others. So there's not a point where you can say that you can bypass using AI because your team is doing it right and your team is pretty efficient at this. You have to just go with the flow and go with the market and try to implement as much as possible all the latest. I mean, you need to look at the startups, look what they're doing. In every space, like especially in e-commerce and fintech, which are very hot topics for venture capital, there is a startup that is doing some kind of work for the corporates. And then it's up to you to decide. You're either working with the startup, for example, like this example with the accounts, right, when you do the expense account. I think there is a startup who is doing exactly that. You can either do it with the startup, or you can insource this operations, spend a little more time to create this competency within the company, but you cannot just bypass it. You need to be always on the watch out. That's why a lot of corporate giants open their own venture arms, so that they're always on the lookout for those startups, for those ideas, not because they want to invest in those startups, but at least because they may internalize some of those thinking, some of those ideas into their everyday operations.
Well, to wrap up this portion of it, when I look at this is, in the market today, a competitive market, everyone wants to have that competitive edge. And I've been fortunate to be part of this corporation for about 26 years. I've seen it evolve over the years, and AI and innovation has played an important part. When I first joined, we were version 7.3 of the database. Now we are version 23, and the version is called 23 AI. We embed AI in the database, in the application, and the cloud infrastructure. Basically, the best part of the role is for us to be able to provide a platform for customers to be able to modernize and use their core competencies to build whatever it takes to help the world a better place. I'll give you guys a good example, and I'm not a spokesperson for this, but for those who wear glasses, I had to get new prescriptions the other day, and I ended up getting a set of progressive lenses. By progressive means I'm able to see the distance and see everybody in the audience, and at the same time I'm able to read what's on the panel. And with the AI technology, they're able to build this lens in a way where you don't have that blurry vision that you did in the beginning. It will take you a couple of weeks for you to adjust to wearing new lenses, where you have to make sure you were looking at a right platform. So there's just one example of how every company takes advantage of AI, but we have to be mindful. It has to be ethical. It has to be transparent. There has to follow some regulations and make sure that everything is followed certain protocol.
Well, thank you for that insight. Look, we are coming to the end of today's panel, and I just want to thank all the panellists for sharing their knowledge and expertise with us today. Your insights have certainly highlighted the importance of AI in business operations and how to actually manage the ethical challenges and prepare for the use of AI. I'm sure that every single one of us has been able to take away something from today's discussion. So thank you once again, and it's been such a privilege to hear from all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.